Hey there, soccer fans. Welcome back to House on the Pitch. I'm your host, Tom House, and today we're continuing a special series. We are diving into 5 episodes that are going to do a high-level breakdown of all the MLS teams in the league, covering 6 teams per episode. Today, we're diving into coastal and mountain regions, talking about the incredible MLS teams that have made their mark on the league. We've got the history, the drama, the rivalries, and of course, the stars. We'll be talking about Real Salt Lake, Colorado Rapids, Austin FC, FC Dallas, Houston Dynamo, and the new expansion team, San Diego FC. So whether you're a diehard fan or just getting into the game, stick around. We'll chat about everything from their traditions to what they've got lined up for 2025. If you have any questions or comments, email us at houseonthepitch@gmail.com. That's houseonthepitch@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. Now lace up your boots and let's take the pitch.
That's astonishing. It's absolutely world class.
All right, the first club we're diving into is Real Salt Lake, better known as RSL to the fans. Founded in 2004, they're one of the newer clubs compared to the OGs of the MLS, based in Sandy, Utah, just outside of Salt Lake City, so they're not in Salt Lake. They've built a reputation in the league. Now, the name Real might remind you of Spain's Real Madrid, and yep, it is no coincidence. It's kind of a nod to European soccer traditions and the roots. But don't let the youth fool you here. RSL has completed and they have accomplished some really, really big things here. They took home the MLS Cup in 2009, and in 2011 they made a historic run to the CONCACAF Champions League final, becoming the first team to reach that stage. So that kind of success early on gave them a serious amount of credibility in the league. Okay, so heading into 2025, RSL's head coach is Pablo Mastroianni. Now, this guy's been around the MLS block. He's a former player, and he knows what it takes to win in this league. His coaching style is all about grit and heart, and that's reflected in the way the team plays. It's not always flashy, but it really does get the job done. And now on the ownership side, they got some big muscle there. The club is led by David Blitzer and Ryan Smith. These guys, they bring a lot of resources and vision to the table. Smith, by the way, also owns Utah Jazz. He's got real stake in elevating Utah sports. And Blitzer, he's part of like a million sports ventures. So they've got some serious leadership here, and that's really, really great for the club's growth. Now, looking ahead at some of the star players that they have at the heart of RSL, you've got some real talent. So Jefferson Savarino is one of the standout stars. The guy's electric on the ball. He's quick, creative, and he can score or assist in the blink of an eye. Then there's Damir Kralak, a total fan favorite. He's versatile, experienced, and honestly, he's just clutch when it matters most. And keep an eye on the goalkeeper. We don't give the goalkeepers enough credit, really. But Zach McMath, too. He's a solid presence between the sticks. It's not always about the big names, but about the players who consistently show up. And Zach McMath, the goalkeeper for RSL, he's one of those guys who does that. And RSL's roster is just packed with those kinds of guys. Now, talking about their stadium, America First Field is in Sandy, Utah. So it's not in Salt Lake City. It's in Sandy, Utah. And while it's not the biggest stadium in the league, it holds just over 20,000 people. The atmosphere is still electric, and 20,000 is about average for most MLS clubs. The fans really make it feel larger than life, too. And the setting, it's really tough to beat. You got this incredible mountain backdrop that makes it one of the most picturesque stadiums in the league, hands down. Plus, it being a soccer exclusive stadium, it doesn't have to share that space with other NFL teams or a rugby team or whatever club. So every corner of the place just kind of screams soccer, which is great for the fans and the fan experience. And it's not just about soccer. It's hosted some pretty big name concerts too. You got Paul McCartney, the Eagles, Thomas Rhett, and Journey. So whether it's just the game or the vibe, it's really a must visit spot with that scenery. So the RSL colors are claret, cobalt, and glue. It's a really classic look, honestly. I really like this one. Their logo has this royal vibe with a crown and a soccer ball. It's simple and clean. It's kind of timeless, and they haven't done any major rebranding or changes with it. So it's just a great logo and brand for the team to have. Now, moving from branding to some of the traditions and culture of the team, there's something that makes the Real Salt Lake's fans really special. The South Goal is where their supporter groups like the Riot Brigade and Section 26 bring the noise. And trust me, the fans do not hold back. The Riot Brigade is one of the most passionate groups, and it's all about high energy. They lead the way with relentless chants, beating drums, and a level of enthusiasm that echoes across America First Field. Their name reflects the spirit they bring too. Organized chaos, the loud and proud, all for the team they love. Whether the team's up or down, you can count on them to keep the energy going. And Section 26, that on the other hand, it offers a unique flavor for fandom. This group is known for its inclusiveness and creativity, adding an artistic touch to the matchday atmosphere with colorful banners, 2 pole flags, and a vibe that feels like one big family. Their tailgates are legendary, often serving as a rallying point for fans to gather. They share stories, build a community, and before heading into the stadium, they all rally together. And let's talk about the traditions. One of the coolest RSL fan moments is the iconic goal celebration with streamers flying through the air. It's really awesome to see. It's simple yet powerful. It's a powerful way, and it has a great way of showing all the colors and showing the joy, make the celebration goal feel like a shared victory. The stadium becomes like a sea of movement, all these colors, pure celebration. It's really an awesome thing to see. Beyond the match, these groups are deeply rooted in the club's history. They've been there through the highs of the 2009 MLS Cup victory and the lows of the rebuilding seasons. Their unwavering loyalty has solidified them as one of the best supporters in the league. When you go to the South Goal, you're not just watching a match, you're part of a culture, a tradition, and a family that lives and breathes RSL. RSL's biggest rivalries now is so if they're out in Utah, their biggest rivalry, Colorado Rapids. They call it the Rocky Mountain Cup, and let's just say it gets heated. The two teams play for literal hardware, and the bragging rights that come with it are massive. They also have some tension with Sporting Kansas City, so there's never a shortage of drama when those teams meet. So wrapping up RSL, what's on the horizon for RSL in 2025? Well, they're continuing to focus on developing talent through their academy. The club has a history of bringing up young players and giving them a chance to shine, so that'll be great for the long-term success. And don't be surprised if they lean into some tactical tweaks under Mastrioni to keep things fresh with their head coach. If they could keep their players healthy and, maybe add 1 or 2 pieces to the puzzle from their youth academy or from trades, acquisitions, they'll go really far this season. Playoffs definitely on the table for this club. They're doing great things. All right, that's your scoop for Real Salt Lake. Up next, we're talking about the Colorado Rapids, so stick around. All right, folks, let's head out to Mile High City and talk about the Colorado Rapids. The Rapids are one of the most original MLS teams, founded way back in 1996. They're based in Commerce City, Colorado, just outside of Denver, a city known for its love of sports, the outdoor adventure, all that stuff that goes with the Colorado vibe, right? And playing at altitude, that's a serious home field advantage, making it a really tough place for opponents to get a result. Let's talk about some of their accomplishments too. The Rapids took home the MLS Cup in 2010, beating FC Dallas in a final and securing a place in league history. They've also been consistent playoff contenders over the years, with a couple deep runs, including the MLS Cup final appearance in 1997 during the league's early days. Plus, they got a strong connection to the community, leading into Colorado's outdoorsy vibe and making Dick's Sporting Goods Park one of the league's most iconic and unique venues. For 2025, the Rapids are led by their head coach, Robin Fraser. This guy's got an incredible soccer mind. He's played in the MLS back in the day and has been a steady hand as a coach. Fraser's style emphasizes defensive organization and a team-first mentality. Not always flashy, again, kind of like Real Salt Lake, but when it clicks, it really works well. In the ownership side, well, the Rapids are part of a massive sports power empire owned by Stan Kroenke. You might have heard that name before. This guy's a big name. He owns teams like the LA Rams in the NFL, Arsenal in the Premier League, and a bunch of others. Kroenke's involvement means that the Rapids have some solid backing, though Rapids fans have been known to wish for a little more investment in the team. But hey, having that kind of power could still mean good things in the long run for the club. Moving on now to some of the players, you have Jack Price. The name always comes up. He's the captain, absolute midfield general. Love watching this guy play. His leadership and ability to deliver pinpoint set pieces make him such a key player for this squad. Then there's Diego Rubio, who's been their go-to guy for goals. He's versatile. He has a knack for being in the right place at the right time. So keep an eye on some of the younger players too coming through. If the Rapids can balance the experience with some fresh talent, they'll go really far this season in doing that. Now, like I said before, the Rapids play at Dick's Sporting Goods Park, or DSGP. DSGP is the home that they call home, and it's located in Commerce City and can hold just over 18,000 fans. Not the largest one, but it's a really cool setup, and they got this open-air vibe with the stunning views of the Rocky Mountains in the background. And biggest kicker of all, this stadium, it sits at 5,280 feet above sea level. It's one of the highest stadiums in North America. The altitude, I mean, man, it's a killer for visiting teams, and the Rapids really know how to make it their fortress and how to take advantage of that. Branding-wise, the Rapids sport burgundy and blue as their primary colors, with a logo that features a mountain and a soccer ball. It's simple, clean, and very, very, very Colorado. Their jerseys usually stick to these classic colors, and honestly, it just fits their vibe there with the Rocky Mountains. Let's dig in a little bit more to the fans. The Centennial 38 supporter group is the heart and soul of Colorado Rapids fan culture. These folks know how to bring the energy, whether it's a legendary pregame tailgate or nonstop chants and drumming that fill up the stadium on match day. Their tailgates are some of the best in the MLS, with food, drinks, games, and welcoming atmosphere that feels more like a family reunion than a fan gathering. One of their coolest traditions is raising a scarf during the anthem for their supporters, Colorado for Life. As the scarves go up and the chant echoes through Dick's Sporting Goods Park, it's a goosebump-worthy moment that feels like the entire crowd's getting hyped up and connected. Centennial 38 also organizes away day trips, which makes it really awesome for the fans, but making sure that the Rapids, their club, have the support no matter where they are or where they play. Whether it's a bus ride to a nearby match or a flight across the country, these fans show up and they do represent. They also give back to the community with events like charity drives and reinforcing the bond between the club and its fans and the local community. It's always really good to kind of see that. What makes Rapids fans even more unique, though, is how they support or how they tie their support for the team into Colorado's outdoorsy, adventurous spirit. You'll see plenty of nods to Colorado pride in the stands, from flags emblazoned with the state iconic C to gear that reflects the natural beauty of the Rocky Mountains. This connection to the state's rugged outdoor culture is a big part of the Rapids' identity, and Centennial 38 embraces it wholeheartedly. And let's not forget their love of traditions, whether it's a chant like Go Rapids or the roar of the crowd when the team scores. Rapid fans have created a match day environment that's electric yet still distinctly Colorado. It's a community of passionate supporters who embody the pioneering and resilient spirit of their home state, Colorado. Now, the Rapids' biggest rivalry is Real Salt Lake. Talked about them in the last segment, and it's all about the Rocky Mountain Cup like we mentioned before. These games, yeah, they get spicy. Fans from both sides make the trip. There's always something extra on the line here with that hardware. It's one of those rivalries that still, it shapes the season for both teams, and even if they're not on top of the standings, it's just a great cup match to watch. So looking ahead to this upcoming season starting in February 2025, well, they got some rebranding to do, no doubt about that. With Robin Fraser at the helm, you can expect them to stay organized and competitive. If they can stay healthy, maybe bring a couple of key signings and give their academy players more chances. That'll be great for setting the foundation for the future. Playoffs is always a fight in the Western Conference, but don't count this team out. They've got pieces. They got the right pieces in place. They just need to, put it all together consistently. All right, that's the lowdown on Colorado Rapids. Up next, we're staying in the West with another club breakdown, so stick around to hear all about Austin FC. All right, let's head to the Lone Star State and talk about Austin FC, one of the newer kids on the block in MLS. And I gotta say, this club has made their name for themselves in a pretty short amount of time. Austin FC was founded in 2018, but they didn't actually start playing until the 2021 season. They're based in, you guessed it, Austin, Texas, so they're not one of those teams who are called after the city and play outside of the city. They actually play in Austin, Texas, and it's a city that's bursting with culture, music, and a vibe that's just made for soccer. Now let's talk about some of the accomplishments. In just their second season, Austin FC made an impressive run all the way to the Western Cup Finals in 2022, turning heads across the league. Plus, their home Q2 Stadium has quickly become one of the loudest and most vibrant places to watch a match, thanks to their passionate fans and some of those epic supporter sections. This is a club with big ambitions and a fan base that's ready to make its mark on the MLS. Now, leading the way for 2025, Josh Wolf is their head coach. Wolf's been with the team since day one, which is really cool to see. His style is all about attacking soccer when it's working man-on-man. It's a lot of fun to watch. And ownership-wise, the club has recently expanded its ownership group, adding a bunch of notable Austinites, which is pretty cool. And they have folks like Matthew McConaughey. That's right, the all right guy. He's a supporter. He's a passionate supporter. Check out some YouTube videos. He's done a lot of interviews and podcasts to really support the club. He's super passionate about the team and brings a ton of star power to the whole club vibe. Now, moving on to some of the star players, Sebastian Driussi, he is the guy for Austin. He's their attacking talisman and one of the most exciting players in the league. His creativity and goal-scoring ability is just absolute class. Then there's Diego Fagundes, a midfield maestro who's been super consistent. And let's not forget about Brad Stuber in goal. This dude pulls off some insane saves, and he's a real fan favorite for Austin FC. Now, as mentioned before, Austin FC, they play in Q2 Stadium, which opened in 2021. It's an average-sized stadium for the MLS, and it's in North Austin and holds about 20,500 fans. The stadium, its design is really, really awesome. It's super modern and has this open, airy feel to it. Plus, it's designed to be one of the most environmental-friendly stadiums in the league, which is just very much Austin. Oh, and the fans, they absolutely pack the place, creating one of the best atmospheres in MLS. Visiting teams, they do not enjoy coming to Austin FC. Now, the team branding, this is pretty neat too. The Verde and Black. That's what Austin fans call their team colors. So it's not green and black, it's Verde and Black. And it's kind of perfect. The green and black stripes on their jerseys just pop in their logo with a tree with 11 intertwining branches representing the players. It's so slick, it's unique, and it's really just like Austin. Now, talking about FC's vibrant fan culture and traditions, Austin may be one of the newer teams in MLS, but their fan base has quickly established itself as one of the loudest and most passionate teams in the MLS. First up, we have La Murga de Austin, the supporters band. It's at the heart of the game day experience. This ensemble of drums, they have trumpets too, and other instruments creates an electric atmosphere that just stands out. Their music fuels the chants and keeps the energy flowing from the first whistle to the final moments after that 90 plus minutes is done, turning every match into a high energy celebration. It's not just about background noise, it's an essential part of what makes Q2 Stadium one of the best places to watch soccer in the league. There's also the supporters groups like Los Verdes and Austin Anthem. Los Verdes and Austin Anthem are also kind of like La Murga de Austin. They are the driving force behind the fan culture. They've embraced Austin's unique creative vibe, blending it with a fierce passion for the team. One of their standout traditions is March to the Match, similar to what Seattle does, where fans gather in a parade on their way to Q2 Stadium, singing and chanting and waving flags. It's not just about pregame activity. It's a statement of unity and pride that sets the tone for the match ahead. And then, cannot talk about tradition and culture without talking about Matthew McConaughey, the club's famous minority owner and Minister of Culture. The actual title for him plays a significant role in the team's identity. From rallying the fans at games to donning his signature green suit for key matches, McConaughey has become an icon of Austin FC. His enthusiastic all right chant has become a rallying cry for the club, and his involvement has helped connect the team to Austin's laid-back yet passionate spirit. Austin fans also have a strong tradition of giving back to the community. Los Verdes and Austin Anthem frequently organize events like charity drives, cleanup efforts, fundraisers, showing their love for the team that goes hand in hand with the love for the city. And lastly, one of the most unique and fun elements of Austin FC's culture is the goal celebration tradition. When Austin scores, the team erupts not only in cheers, but also with synchronized chants and waving of bright green flags. The fans' enthusiasm is infectious, creating matchday experience that's really unforgettable. In true Austin fashion, the club and its supporters have crafted an environment that's equal parts soccer, passion with local flair. Whether it's music, the chants, the community spirit, Austin FC fans' culture is a perfect reflection of the city itself. It's bold, creative, and unrelenting in its love for the beautiful game. Now, Austin's main rivalry is with FC Dallas and Houston Dynamo, so the three clubs in Texas are Austin FC, FC Dallas, and Houston Dynamo. So these three clubs come together and they have a great tournament or a great cup to go after, and they call it Copa Tejas. It's like a battle for Texas bragging rights. These games, yeah, they're intense. The fans are loud, the tackles are hard, and the stakes just feel a lot bigger for this one. It's Texas pride on the line, and that's always very big in Texas. So what's next for Austin in 2025? Well, they've got a solid core, but consistency has been a bit of a challenge for them. If they keep Driussi healthy, maybe they'll have a few more pieces on the defense. They'll go really far doing that. The playoffs should definitely be on the radar for them. And with the fan support, anything feels possible for the club. All right, that's a scoop on Austin FC. Next, we're diving into another team, so stick around. All right, y'all, let's talk about FC Dallas. This team has been around for a while and has quietly built a solid reputation for developing some of the best young talent in the league. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's start at the beginning. So FC Dallas was founded in 1995, originally called the Dallas Burn. Yeah, I mean, Burn was, it's an interesting choice, but they rebranded, thankfully, to FC Dallas in 2004. And honestly, that feels way more classic and fitting for the club, and it's all about tradition. They're based in Frisco, Texas, a suburb of Dallas, and play in Toyota Stadium, which has been their home since 2005. But don't let the suburban setting fool you. Their fan base is super passionate and brings that Texas pride every match. Now, about those accomplishments, FC Dallas has been a consistent force in MLS. They've won the Supporters' Shield and the U.S. Open Cup in 2016, a rare double that really highlights their dominance that year. But where they truly shine is in their academy. They've developed a pipeline of incredible talent, producing stars like Weston McKennie and Ricardo Pepi, who've gone on to make waves in Europe and with the men's U.S. national team. This is a club that knows how to invest in the future while keeping things exciting on and off the pitch. Moving into 2025, the head coach is Nico Estevez. Nico's been here for a couple years now, and his style, it's about quick attacking soccer with a focus on youth development. It's like he's building a system that's not just about today, but also about, what's coming up next for the club. The club's owned by the Hunt family. These folks are absolute legends in American soccer. They've been involved in sports for decades, even helping launch MLS back in the day. So yeah, the club's got a lot of deep roots. When it comes to the players, FC Dallas is all about homegrown talent. So they have Jesus Ferreira. He's a star forward, and he's one of the players who just seems to pop up in the right place at the right time. He's been a consistent goal scorer, even made waves with the U.S. men's national team. Then there's Paxton Pomykal, the midfield engine. He's got great vision and is super versatile. Oh, and let's not forget Alan Velasco, an electric Argentine winger. When he's on, he's like one of the most fun players to watch in the league. Really is. Now, as mentioned, FC Dallas, they play at Toyota Stadium, which is in Frisco, so not actually in Dallas. It's been their home since 2005 and can hold about 20,500 fans. It's not the flashiest stadium in the MLS, I gotta say, but it's got a cozy vibe, One of the cool features is the National Soccer Hall of Fame that's built into the stadium. So if you're a soccer nerd like me, that's definitely a bucket list visit. So go check it out. The National Soccer Hall of Fame is built into the stadium. It's at FC Dallas's stadium at Toyota Stadium down in Frisco, Texas. Definitely worth the visit. Branding-wise, FC Dallas sticks to their red, white, and blue roots. Love it. All-American. Very Texas. Their jerseys usually have some kind of stripe design, so it's super clean, super classic. And their logo, it's got this Texas Longhorn on it. So what's more Texas than red, white, and blue and a Texas Longhorn on it? Which I guess just feels very on brand for a team rep in Texas. All right, moving on now, we're going to talk a little bit about the traditions and cultures for FC Dallas and their passionate fan culture. Their supporters bring the noise every game, making Toyota Stadium a place where you can feel the love for the game in every corner. So first up, you have El Matador. It's one of the original supporter groups, and it's known for its passionate chants, vibrant flags, and drums echoing throughout the stadium. They bring a uniquely bold and unapologetic energy rooted in their deep love for the team and the team sport. Whether the team's soaring high or facing challenges, El Matador's dedication never wavers. Then there's a very unique one. There's the Dallas Beer Guardians. That group lives up to their name by combining their love for soccer with a laid-back, fun vibe. They're all about building camaraderie among fans, often hosting epic tailgates before the game. You can find them outside of Toyota Stadium. You'll find them grilling, sharing beers, hyping up the crowd before heading into the stands and bringing the energy with their chants and support. Now, a key highlight of the fan culture here is the Lamar Hunt scarfing ceremony, a beloved pre-match ritual. Before every home game, a different guest, whether it's a club legend, a community leader, or a lucky fan, drapes a scarf around the statue of Lamar Hunt, one of the founding figures of MLS and the club's legendary owner. It's a meaningful tradition. It's really nice to see, and that's one of those things that connects the fans to the club's deep history and its deep roots. FC Dallas also have their battle cries, Dallas Till I Die. No matter what's happening on the field, this chant rings out loud and proud, showing fans unwavering loyalty to their team. The supporters also gather at Dallas Beer Garden, a vibrant hub of activity in the stadium. It's a place where fans come together, share drinks, celebrate victories, and build a sense of community. Whether you're a longtime season ticket holder or a first-timer, the Beer Garden is where connections are made and the love for FC Dallas is shared. From passionate energy of the El Matador to the spirited camaraderie of the Dallas Beer Gardens, FC Dallas fans create a matchday atmosphere that's impossible to ignore. Their traditions, chants, and unwavering support embody the heart and soul of soccer in North Texas. Now, as mentioned in the last section, FC Dallas has rivalry with the other two Texas teams. FC Dallas in particular has a fierce rivalry with Houston Dynamo called the Texas Derby. What's at stake here? The coveted El Capitan, which, get this, is a real cannon. Yes, it's a cannon. It's just one of those quirky, awesome things the MLS does. They've also got beef with Austin FC, that trifecta that's in Texas. So yeah, every match against Texas just feels just a little bit more intense. So what's in store for Dallas in 2025? FC Dallas in 2025? Well, they'll definitely be leaning into the homegrown talent like many clubs do. And if they can tighten up the defense a bit, maybe get a little bit more out of Ferreira and Velasco and get them firing on all cylinders, that would be great. They could easily make a playoff run. And Nico Estevez, the head coach, he keeps building on this system. I think they'll go really far doing that and tapping into the youth of the organization. That's the lowdown on FC Dallas. Stick around, there's plenty more MLS action to talk about. All right, MLS fans, we're going to wrap up Texas right now. We're going to talk about Houston Dynamo FC. So down in Houston, at a club with rich history and honestly, a lot of potential for the future. There's a ton to cover here, so let's dive right in. Houston Dynamo was founded in 2005, originally coming into existence as a relocation version of the San Jose Earthquakes, talked about in the first episode, going through all these MLS teams. But once they got settled in Houston, they became their own thing entirely, quickly building an identity that reflects the city's diversity and energy. And when it comes to accomplishments, this team can come out swinging. The Dynamo won back-to-back MLS Cups in 2006 and 2007, which still is one of the most impressive stats and starts for any club in the MLS. They've also made multiple appearances in the playoffs and lifted the U.S. Open Cup trophy in 2018. Their home, Shell Energy Stadium, it's right in downtown Houston. It's an open-air stadium that really lets the crowd's energy shine through. And with passionate fan base led by supporter groups like El Batallón and the Texian Army, the atmosphere is really electric here. This club has embraced Houston's culture and diversity, making it a real community-driven team. Whether it's the drumbeats echoing through the stands or the team's push to get the championship back, the Dynamo have always been a fun club to follow. Now, heading into 2025, their head coach is Ben Olsen. Now, if that name rings a bell, it's because Ben spent over a decade coaching DC United before coming to Houston. So now his style, it's about grit and it's about getting the basics right? Which has really worked for the Dynamo team. Now, on the ownership side, the owners include Gabriel Brenner, a businessman with deep roots and deep ties to soccer, and Ted Siegel, who's one of the more recent additions. They've been investing heavily into the team, so we'll probably see some exciting changes soon. Now let's talk about some of the star players. First up, Hector Herrera. This guy is a game changer. He is a Mexican international midfielder who brings a ton of experience, creativity, and leadership. When he's on the ball, you know something special might happen. Then there's Steve Clark, their goalkeeper, he's like a wall in front of the net. And Cody Baird is a versatile forward who can really stretch the defenses. So great forward to have on your team. Now heading back to the stadium, the Dynamo play at Shell Energy Stadium, which is right downtown Houston. Awesome place to put a stadium. It holds around 22,000 fans, and let me tell you, when it's packed, it is really packed, and it feels that way. The stadium's also known for being super fan-friendly. They've got great food options because, it's Texas, and a design that keeps the noise bouncing back onto the pitch. That's the way it's actually physically designed. It's one of those places that visiting teams kind of dread. Now, Houston's colors are orange, black, white, and man, that orange just kind of pops on the field. It's very different to a lot of other MLS clubs. It's kind of become their signature look, and their logo has a star and a hexagon design that ties to Houston's Space City vibe. Some of the traditions and cultures for the Houston Dynamo FC, so fans know how to bring the heat here, both literally and figuratively. The energy in the stands is electric, and it starts with the incredible supporters group. So there's El Batallón. It's a powerhouse of passion. They're known for their nonstop chanting, beating drums, and waving flags, creating a raucous, Latin-inspired atmosphere that resonates throughout Shell Energy Stadium. Their rhythms and melodies are the heartbeat of the matchday experience, and their devotion to the team is unwavering, win or lose. Then there's the Texian Army, a group that embodies the pioneering spirit of Houston. With their loud chants, creative tifos, and unmatched enthusiasm, they make their presence felt at every home game. They're also deeply rooted in the community, organizing events, watching parties, and outreach initiatives to connect with the fans beyond the stadium. One of the unique traditions that sets Dynamo match days apart is the Diesel Parade. Their lovable mascot Diesel, he leads a procession of fans into the stadium before kickoff. It's a quirky, family-friendly tradition that gets everybody kind of hyped up and sets the tone for the game ahead. Houston fans are also known for their stadium rituals like the iconic orange scarves proudly waving during the games. The orange represents more than the team colors. It's a symbol of the city's pride and resilience. So from the tailgates to the sweltering heat in Texas, the passionate chants echoing the stadiums, Houston Dynamo fans create an unforgettable matchday experience. Their traditions combined with their deep connection to the team and the community make them some of the most dedicated supporters in MLS. Okay, so the rivalries now. Houston has one of the big rivalries with FC Dallas. It's called the Texas Derby. And like I mentioned earlier, they fight for El Capitan, which is the actual cannon. Again, the games are intense and you can just feel that tension every time they meet. There's also the newer rivalry with the first club we talked about in Texas, the Austin FC. It's like the Battle of Texas. The three teams get together and it's just a great rivalry, great state matchup, great pride on the line for all three teams, and always a great matchup to watch. So keep an eye out for any time the three Texas teams meet in Texas to play. So what's next for Houston in 2025? Well, if Ben Olsen can keep building on the progress that we've seen, that'll be great. They're focusing on solidifying their defense and getting the most out of their players like Herrera. If they can find some kind of consistency and maybe bring in a couple more attacking pieces, I think they'll go really far doing that. All right, that's the rundown on Houston Dynamo FC. Stay tuned. There's plenty more of MLS to talk about, and we've got you covered. All right, folks, last up today, we're going to head way back out west, way back to Southwest, and talk about San Diego FC, the newest kid on the MLS block. Yeah, the league's expanding team again, and I gotta say, this team has some serious potential. There's a lot of excitement around it, so let's break it all down. So, San Diego FC, or SDFC for short, was announced in 2023, and they'll officially be hitting the pitch for the first time in 2025, real soon, in about a month and a half. Now, being a brand new team, they don't have a list of accomplishments yet. But hey, this just means that there's a story that is about to be written here. And the city of San Diego is an awesome choice for the MLS. The sunshine, the beaches, and now a top-tier soccer club. With a passionate soccer community already in place, you can bet that the fans will show up in force. And with the city's rich Latin American influence, there's a ton of potential for unique traditions, maybe a pregame surfboard ritual, or some high-energy chants that really draw from the local culture. Plus, the fan base has a chance to really shape this team's identity from the start. That's what makes it so exciting, really. A blank slate to create traditions, the rivalries, and the legacy. San Diego's ready to make a start and make their mark on the league. And I think it's going to be something really, really special to watch. So keep an eye out for San Diego FC this year as they kick off their inaugural season. I talked about this on another episode and went into a bit of the background on San Diego FC. But the ownership is pretty stacked. They have Mohamed Mansour, a billionaire businessman, is a lead investor. He's got experience in global investment and seems pretty committed to making the team a contender. As for the head coach, SDFC just named Mikey Varas as the head coach. You may know him from his most recent role as the interim head coach for the U.S. men's national team. Now, owner Sir Mohamed Mansour, he stated, "We believe Mikey is the perfect choice to lead San Diego FC as the club's first head coach. As we prepare for our inaugural season, Mikey's leadership, desire to win now, and his deep understanding of player development make him the ideal choice for our club going forward." So a lot of praise, a lot of commitment, and a lot of faith in having Mikey Varas as the head coach for San Diego FC in their inaugural season from owner Mohamed Mansour. Some star players, well, it's a brand new team, so we don't have a full roster yet, but the expansion draft will be key. They'll be looking to snag some solid MLS veterans who can really help them hit the ground running. And don't be surprised if they dip into the international market too. San Diego's close to Mexico, so I wouldn't be shocked, honestly, if some Liga MX talent or maybe some big name signings from overseas draw in some of the club's talent. Now, where are they going to be playing? So San Diego FC will be playing at Snapdragon Stadium. That will be their home. It's a state-of-the-art venue with a capacity of 35,000, and it's already known for hosting some big events like college football and international soccer matches. So it's not an MLS exclusive stadium. Maybe they'll get that someday, but they are a brand new team, so they don't have their own MLS stadium yet. The location is great, though. It's right in Mission Valley, super accessible, and the design is all about enhancing the fan experience. There's going to be plenty of food, drink, and all the Cali vibes that come with it. Branding wise, so they're still rolling out some of their identity, but the team's name, San Diego FC, it's simple, clean, and very European. The club colors are a black and white logo. It says San Diego at the top with a spiral circle in the middle, and FC in the middle, and a very faint orange yellow shield cover around it. It looks pretty great. I don't know if they'll make any tweaks to it anytime soon, but for a starter club for 2025 season, I think the logo is actually very, very good. And moving on to traditions and cultures, and like I said in the intro for San Diego FC, this is always the fun part for a new team, right? I mean, building traditions from scratch. San Diego really already has a passionate soccer community, so I think the fans will really bring energy right from day one. So supporter groups are probably already forming as we speak, and I'm sure there'll be some unique chants and game day rituals, and San Diego, it'll have that laid back but super passionate vibe. One idea that would fit perfectly well into San Diego's culture is a pregame ritual with a surfboard. Picture this though, a giant surfboard painted with the team's colors, so that maybe that black and white and orange, carried out by fans or players at the center of the pitch before kickoff, a nod to San Diego's surf culture and coastal lifestyle. Or they could also incorporate elements of Latin American influence into the matchday experience, like having a mariachi or Latin percussion performance before the game during the halftime show. It would celebrate the city's rich cultural diversity and make it the atmosphere electric. And for signature closing moment, I don't know, how about a team anthem? A lot of clubs do it. I always love it. The team anthem, or a song to finish every match, win or lose. Something upbeat then unifying that the fans can belt out together in the final minutes or after the whistle, turning the stadium into a sea of voices, ending each game on a high note. The possibilities are endless, and with San Diego vibe, they're going to do something really unforgettable. Now, for rivalries, this is where it could get kind of interesting. I think they're obviously going to have LA Galaxy, LAFC, and San Jose Earthquake. You got 3 teams there in Southern California, so these matches between them are going to be intense. So what can we expect in the debut season? What can you expect from any MLS team starting season 1? If they can build a solid core through the draft and the signings and generate success with newly appointed head coach Mikey Veras, who has had success with the U20 men's national team, they could be real contenders. It's about setting the tone though, right? They don't have to win it all in year 1, but making the playoffs or a playoff run, or just even being competitive, would be huge for them. So there you have this, San Diego FC. It's going to be fun watching the team grow, and I can't wait to see how they shake things up. All right, soccer fans, that's it for this episode of House on the Pitch. Check out all episodes from this series where we dive into the amazing clubs in the league, giving you a great insight into their history and what they're all about. As always, email us at houseonthepitch@gmail.com. That's houseonthepitch@gmail.com, and share any thoughts, questions, or comments you might have. We'd love to hear from you. Until then, we'll see you next time on the pitch.